Yes, indeed, we are free at last. Welcome back to yet again another season of Privacy. I am your host, Dr. Chris. Just in case you didn't mistaken, this is not Testicles as the host of Privacy. This is Dr. Chris, the host of Privacy. And on this edition of Privacy, we're going to discuss the brilliance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a really strong man. Matter of fact, it feels like I knew Dr. King in person. I just want to acknowledge the fact that it's 25 seasons of Privacy, the 25th anniversary of Privacy. And as you can see on my nephew Christian's Snapchat story, he's been struggling with a lot going on in his story. Like, he had, as you can say, violence all over his social media, and people ask, man, why are you calling this guy out? Man, you're going off on this guy. My nephew Christian Wheeler has every right to express his feelings, emotions, and thoughts. And if you can't deal with that, or any of you could deal with that, well, you could just remove him. He doesn't care less. He doesn't give a damn. Because he may have had a lot of violence on the Snapchat, on social media, but that's not the message we have today. The message we have today is nonviolence, in the great words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who stood for nonviolence, who stood for equality, who stood for equal rights. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. graduated from high school at the age of 15. Yes, he was a freshman in college at the age of 15. And he ended up getting a degree, becoming a PhD, and getting a doctor's degree in pastoral, which is like church pastor, deacon, or whatever. And he became a pastor at the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Atlanta, Georgia, which is where he met one of the ladies on the chorus, Coretta Scott. She was one of the lead singers on the chorus, and she could just sing her behind off. Like, she was really good, and he decided to marry her. Within 2 years later, there was an incident where Rosa Parks people, fools and idiots, all joined hands to sing the words of the Dr. Chris spiritual, which I will get to at the end of the video. I'll give you my version of the I Have a Dream speech featuring Dr. Chris. But Dr. King ended up winning the Civil Rights Act of 1964 Nobel Peace Prize. He marched all the way to Selma, Alabama for black people's voting rights. He tried to go to Chicago to stand up for a poor people campaign. He even went back down south to Memphis to stand up for black garbage workers and their sanitation rights, and saying they need to get paid more. He even spoke out about Vietnam, which caused a lot of controversy. And it all led to the night before it was his time. He gave a speech that he'd been to the mountaintop. He looked over. He's seen the promised land. Dr. King has seen the promised land. And he said he may not get there with you, but he wants you all to know tonight that we all will get there together. And on the day of April 4th, 1968, at Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee, Dr. King was getting his coat, getting ready for dinner, eat with his friends, and he was shot, assassinated by a rifle by James Earl Ray. So even though Dr. King his time was cut short, he was murdered viciously at the hands of, a very deranged white man. Dr. King stood out. He was bigger than himself. He wanted America to live out the true meaning of his creed. Just like I want all of you on Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, everybody to live out the true meaning of your creed. And I have a dream today that this whole campus, CMU, everything else in the world will live out their true meaning of its creed and join hands and sing the words of the old Dr. Chris spiritual. Free at last, free at last. Privacy, privacy. Thank God Almighty for privacy. Because privacy is your business. I'm really glad y'all enjoyed this 25th anniversary honoring Dr. King. I'm just so heartfelt that 25 seasons, man. Man, we've been through it all, people. We've been through all America. We thought privacy was over at season 20. We went from privacy being about a girl that caused some harm to you at the very beginning of season 1 to get into college and starting season 10 here at CMU, and the emergence of the Privacy Ghost, and he ultimately almost ending Privacy in season 20 until he got caught after ending 5 things. He got caught and defeated by the Floor King on Christmas Eve, and Privacy would officially return on New Year's Eve later that month. So I really appreciate all the people who don't click, even who do click through your story. The gospel will remain that privacy is your business. You all look real frightened. You haven't seen true fear yet. This may look familiar to you. The Privacy Ghost has vanished. I am no Privacy Ghost, for I am the Fiend, and not only am I going to avenge my brother, the Privacy Ghost, I, if he can't permanently end privacy, I will get your job done.